Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm sharing about the brand new Holtz Sizzix Big Shot Foldaway along with some fun tips and tricks for die cutting. I recently got this new machine and it couldn't have come at a better time. My previous Big Shot was well loved, but definitely starting to show her age. This foldaway is exactly the same size as the white and gray one, except for the color being black, which was of course inspired by Tim Holtz. I'm loving this new color since the black tends to hide inky hands a bit better. If you aren't familiar with the Sizzix foldaway, it has some great features that I want to share with you. Both of the cutting surfaces and the handle fold away, hence the name Foldaway, which makes it convenient for creating on the go, and it also takes up less space as compared to the standard Big Shot. It takes a bit of muscle to snap the cutting surfaces into place, but you don't have to do that to use the machine. I tend to leave mine out on my cutting table, so folding it up isn't something I need to do very often. Another great feature are the built-in storage compartments that can hold wafer-thin dies or tools. The foldaway comes with a platform, one pair of standard cutting pads, and a wafer-thin die adapter. The wafer-thin die adapter is for use with Sizzix Thinlits, Sizzix framelits, and other thin dies. Just make sure you remove it when you try to use an embossing folder. Here I'm die cutting the simple Plaid Thinlit from Distress Heavy Stock. Another quick tip is to rotate your dies so they aren't going straight through the rollers. This will minimize die and cutting plate warping. Along with my new die cutting machine, I also have a favorite new die cutting tool, the Sizzix die brush and die pick. This tool is perfect for removing all the excess paper from the dies in the actual die cut. Once I'm finished die cutting, I can then use the pick to carefully remove the die cut from the die. This die creates such a delicate shape it would be a shame to destroy it while removing it from the die. To remove all those inside pieces, just run the brush over the die cut and all those little bits come off, even those tiny ones that always make me a bit crazy when die cutting thicker papers. I will share that I prefer to use the brush with the molding pad that comes with the Sizzix shaping kit because it's a bit easier to wipe off all those tiny bits of paper, but the foam pad that this kit comes with is more pliable and the extra paper comes off the die cut a bit easier with the foam pad as compared to the molding pad. So please don't feel like you have to have both kits. It's really just a personal preference for me. I want to share some of the different types of dies that the foldaway works with. You can use it with Sizzix big dies. These are also known as steel rule dies. They can cut through pretty much anything: paper, acetate, fabric, and even chipboard. The foldaway is also compatible with all wafer-thin dies such as the Sizzix Thinlits and framelits. This is one of the dies called Bold Text from the recent Tim Holtz Sizzix Chapter 1 release. This die is perfect for adding a bold sentiment to your projects. This is called a Switchlet, and they die cut and emboss all in one pass. But what makes these unique is that the embossing folder contains tiny magnets that allow you to swap out the die with 3 different dies. This particular Switchlet is called Seal. Here you can see how I used the pinking edge die. It also comes with a scalloped edge and a plain edge, giving you loads of creative options. Another die set from Sizzix are the Colorize Thinlit dies. These die sets cut out multiple layers that build up to create midtones, highlights, and shadows. This allows you to create intricate paper layering designs that have loads of depth and dimension with ease. This Woodgrain Colorize has such great detail. I keep these on a magnet sheet just to keep them from sliding around, and it allows me to easily close the envelope. Another great product to use with the foldaway are embossing folders. I'm especially loving the Sizzix 3D Texture Fade embossing folders. This one is from the latest release and is called Quilted. These embossing folders create a deep and bold dimensional embossing effect. What's the difference between a regular embossing folder and a 3D embossing folder, you ask? Every embossing folder has a raised or embossing side and a recessed or debossing side. Regular embossing folders emboss and deboss the same depth into the paper. A 3D embossing folder has various heights in the embossing side and the debossing side that gives you loads more detail, depth, and dimension. Because of these various heights, you need to lightly spritz your paper with a bit of water. Place it inside the embossing folder and then run it through your die cutting machine using the platform and one cutting pad, and make sure to remove the thin wafer adapter. With the Sizzix Big Shot, it is recommended that you run them through your machine 3 times to get the best impression. Because the Foldaway provides more pressure, you can get a great impression with one pass, but a second pass adds even more detail and dimension, which I prefer. Here you can see how the embossing and debossing details really make a piece of paper look like quilted fabric. Besides Sizzix dies, you can use the Foldaway with dies that have coordinating stamps, such as these stamps and die sets from Pink Fresh Studio, and these stamps and dies from Waffle Flower Crafts. It also works well with Slimline dies and border dies, such as these from scrapbook.com. The main thing to note is that the Foldaway is compatible with all wafer-thin dies, steel rule dies, and embossing folders up to 6 inches wide. Last but not least, I wanted to mention a couple of adhesive tapes that are great for holding your dies in place on your paper when you're die cutting. This comes in handy if you are wanting to cut out a specific spot on a piece of paper or when lining up dies with their coordinating stamped images. The 2 options I prefer are Pixie Tape from Therm O Web and Mint Tape from scrapbook.com. They are both a low-tack tape that won't rip or tear your paper when you go to remove it after die cutting. I hope you enjoyed learning a bit more about the Tim Holtz Sizzix Big Shot Foldaway. All the products I mentioned in this video can be found in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. I'm truly grateful for you. I was wondering if you could do me a quick favor and subscribe to my channel or leave me a thumbs up or a comment. If you're feeling extra generous, I'd love for you to share about my channel with your friends. All of these things help out us YouTubers so much, and it would mean so much to me to have your support.